coach is Rick Stewart with AllAccessCoaching.com. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button down below so we can let you know when new content's been uploaded.
Okay, the go route is the first one we're going to talk about today. This is our natural first progression because it incorporates the choice route that we detailed and watched film on in the first course. In the top diagram, you can see we have our double wing flexbone formation, and at the bottom, we have a modern formation. This play is going to be out of 3x1. As we learned in course 1, pure run and shoot based out of the flexbone uses motions to get to 3x1 formations. Motion is utilized because it forces the defense to move and shift as formation changes, and it also makes the defense declare if they're playing man or zone. Modern run and shoot teams don't always use motion. You, of course, could line up in 2x2 open and motion to 3x1 open. In this diagram, I've just shown us lined up in a 3x1 formation. However you get to it, the routes are going to be the same. I'm going to talk about the bottom diagram out of 3x1 open, but as you can see, the top and bottom are essentially the same. Your number one to the field side has a locked on mandatory outside release vertical. His job is to pull out whatever deep defender is on his half or his third. Whoever's going to be over the top of him, his job is to take that player out of the equation. Number two, no matter how he gets there, whether it's motion or lining up in the slot, he is going to run the choice route. Just as we talked about in course 1, the choice route means he's going to run a route based on coverage. If it's cover 3, he will stay on his 18x2 path. What does 18x2 mean? If he were to catch the ball, we'd like to throw it to him 18 yards downfield at 2 yards outside the hash. That is your basic cover 4 field split, a cover 3 field split for 4 verticals. That means that if you're seeing cover 3, 2 deep corners and 1 deep middle safety, to send 4 vertical routes to split the field evenly, on a college field with college hashes, you'd send 2 down the bottom of the numbers and 2 receivers 2 yards outside the hashes. And to try to get on top of the linebackers and underneath the safety, 18 yards is the ideal place to throw that vertical. If the choice route sees cover 2, meaning 2 deep safeties outside the hash that are dropping into halves of the field, he'll break it to the post to try to stay away from both of those safeties. If he sees cover 4, then he's going to run away from the safety who's basically covering him in man coverage. And that's how the run and shoot teams will treat cover 4. It's basically as off man. You might see a player settle. We saw that when we watched film on the choice route in cover 1. But essentially he's going to get open off of that cover 4 safety. And his base way to do that is to widen him and then break across the field to run away from him. Against cover 0, we have the option to run a hot route, which is a slant. If there's no high safeties at the snap of the football, he can break it into a slant. Our inside number 3, whether a wing or a slot, is going to run to the flat. For timing purposes, the run and shoot teaches this arrow route, flat route, whatever you'd like to call it, as leveraging in for 2 yards and then working back out to the flat. And they teach the route to gain ground to intersect the sideline at about 6 yards. That puts you at the top of the numbers at about 4 yards. This might be a little bit deeper than what some of you are used to running for your flat routes. I know it was for me when we came upon run and shoot football. The reason for this is that the receiver catches the ball working upfield, and it leads to more yards after catch. If you look at it on an aggregate, if you do this over time and run this play a lot over the course of the season, this is a really good way to gain some more yards on your flat route. When we watched film in course 1 of the choice route, we saw some plays where the linebacker over number 2, or nearest to number 2, carried him vertically into the seam. That meant the curl player carried all the way through to the deep player, and there was no one left in the curl area. That's what this play takes advantage of. We want to throw the flat route every time that we can. Think of it almost like a bootleg, taking the flat when it's there. So if you're running choice and you're having trouble getting your choice route open because the linebacker is carrying the choice route vertically, run go and then throw it to your underneath route, your arrow route, your flat route, and that's going to be there as your number 1. If the linebacker bypasses the choice route and covers the flat route, then we're going to look to the choice route. You could, of course, change this route progression. If you wanted to say choice is number 1 and flat's number 2, of course you could do that. What's great about run and shoot reads, as we'll see as we go throughout this course, you're basically looking at a numbered route progression. Someone's the number 1, someone's the number 2, someone's the number 3. So when we teach this play, we teach the arrow route to the flat as number 1, the choice route is number 2, and the backside route is number 3. The backside route is the same as on the choice play, meaning that if the backside single receiver can beat the corner vertically, he'll run past him and keep going. If the corner stays on top of him, he'll curl at 10 yards and run back towards the quarterback. Fourth choice would be the running back hooked up over the middle of the field. Sometimes the running back and the backside receiver kind of 3 and 3A, depending on where the eyes of the quarterback will naturally go. This go play, I call it go because I've seen video clips of June Jones talking about this play and calling it go, is great because if you install the choice play, and we talked in the first course about how the choice play has so many options built in, and while it's an investment of time to teach the choice route, it's a play that's a Swiss Army knife. It's good against any coverage. To teach this play, the only new thing you're teaching is the arrow route to the flat. And that's not going to take a whole lot of time to teach your slot players and wing players to leverage in for 2 yards and then run their route where they're aiming at the sideline at 6 yards, basically the top of the numbers at 4 yards. And then you have this play built in. And again, this is the next progression that we teach because it's the next progression of your choice play. And we talked about why that is. If they're trying to take away the choice route by running linebackers out with it, then your next go-to play is the go. You can also run the go out of 2x2. You can just use your running back to go to the flat. With your ISO protection, it can sometimes be a little more difficult to get your running back out into the flat. That's why we like to use a lot of power protection with this play. But we've run it with both, and when we watch film on this, there's a good chance we'll see both our ISO protection and our power protection with running back go. If you want more details on that, of course, go back to the first course on run and shoot within the TEX-BONE, and we spent a good amount of time talking about both of those pass protections and how we utilize those. When you see this at a 2x2, you can see that the only thing that changes is you have a backside number 2 receiver now. His rules are the same as they are on choice. He's going to be a locked vertical, aiming for 2 yards outside the hash at 18 yards, unless it's cover 0, and then he can run his cover 0 adjustment by breaking out an out route at 5 yards. Again, we teach this as our running back being number 1, taking the flat route when it's there. You could teach this as your choice route being number 1 and your flat route being number 2. You're not wrong either way. It's what you want to emphasize. If you want to be really consistent with your choice play, then keep the choice route, the field side number 2, as your number 1. I'm not telling you that there's a right way or a wrong way to teach this. You're going to see when we get to film, we run this an awful lot on first down. And we talked in course 1 about one of the misconceptions about the run and shoot being that it's a low percentage offense. Run and shoot is designed to be a high percentage offense. That's why you change your routes based on coverage, is to be open and make plays more high percentage. When we're running this on first down, we want to take the arrow route every time it's there. And we'll see a lot of film of us having efficient plays on first down by running go, either with the running back or with the receiver stretching to the flat. I want to reiterate one more time before we go to film that this is your perfect complement to the choice play. If you're going to run choice, then you're going to want to run go also. Here we are on film of the go play. We're in a 3x1, of course. You could motion to this, but you don't have to. Why would you not motion? If you want to know exactly how they're going to line up and you like how the defense lines up in 3x1, you don't need to motion to it. So that's the reason why you would potentially not motion to 3x1, but line up in 3x1. Okay, we're going to run this With our ISO protection, I told you we'd probably see both. We'll talk more about the protection on the tight film. Number 1 to the field has a locked on mandatory outside release vertical. His job is to get at least one defender to go with him. Number 2 has the choice route based on the coverage in front of him. He's got a single safety. We've got kind of a TCU cover 4 type look, which is essentially man. So he's got lots of options against man coverage to run away from the defender over him. Our arrow route to the flats can be by number 3. He's going to work inside for 2 yards and then angle to the sideline, intersecting the sideline at about 6 yards. We're 1st and 10. Our first choice is the flat route. The flat route is there. Not a huge play, but it's 4 yards on first down, and that's an efficient play. Could we have held the ball a little bit longer, maybe waited for the choice? Possibly. Good chance he might have had it, but on first down, to take the number 1 option is there. Now, if we were telling the quarterback, read the choice as number 1, he probably would have held on to it longer and thrown that choice. We would have been fine either way. Okay, we don't have an end zone of this. We'll watch our ISO protection from this tighter view. And you're going to see that there's going to be a blitzing linebacker to the front side. That's the running back's player. He telegraphs his cut a little bit early, but he gets into his feet enough that the ball is gone. Even if we were throwing the choice route with our half roll action, where the quarterback stays on the roll here, we're going to be able to set our feet and throw the choice before number 3, the blitzing defender, is able to get there. On the back side, we're pushing out. Everybody has a gap. On the front side, we're man-to-man. And while not a flashy play, it's an efficient first down play. 2nd and 6, here we go. Okay, trips again. No motion. First choice is the go. First choice is the flat route on go. Name of the play is go. It's there. We get 9 on first down. Could you split hairs and say we really should have gotten the first down out of that? I would say you probably could split hairs. But it's a good read, and it's a good choice on first down. And 2nd and 1 is a good place to be. As you can see, there's a linebacker that's trying to carry our choice route and defend our choice route by sticking onto it. This is a perfect complement to teams that want to lock on the choice route with a linebacker, usually a nickel defender. From a protection standpoint, you can see we've got some flexibility with what we do with the running back. We don't have to always line the running back up on the front side, even if he's going to block the front side defender. We can bring him across. The great thing about this is it disguises our intentions. More than 50% of the time, the running back will line up to the side that we roll to. So in this case, the defense may be predicting that we're going to run a play to the boundary, which we do, and we're going to get to that later in this course, where we'll half roll or sprint to the boundary. By changing up where you set your running back, it can be a good tendency breaker. Here we're running our power protection. So we're going to block man-to-man on the front side. We're going to push back with the center, tackle will be man-to-man. Guard will pull over to the front side linebacker. Nice clean pocket, nothing in front of the quarterback. Note that our right tackle here, number 65, is man-to-man. So when this defensive end goes inside, the tackle's going to work down with him. It looks like he's just blocking down, but that is man-to-man, and he is going to push down inside with him. First down, 9-yard gain. Could have been a 10-yard gain. Coaches, I'm right there with you. Split back formation. Split backs is a formation that we like because it allows us to sprint either direction and not really give it away which way we're going to go because we have our 6th protector no matter what we want to do. In this case, we're going to run go with the running back to the top, where our running back is going to be the flat route. Number 2 is still the option route. Number 1's locked on, man on outside release. And then we've got our choice route on the backside where it's vertical or a curl if the corner stays on top of him. Little hesitation. Not sure why. Okay, I think our quarterback was pre-snapping, thinking about throwing the backside curl. He probably could have. He didn't. Let's talk about that. We saw a play in course 1 where we were talking about choice, where a quarterback pre-snapped that there was no linebacker outside the box that could possibly drop underneath of our backside curl route. I think he was thinking the same thing here. I'm not sure why he came off of it. Maybe he thought there was a threat that he could drop underneath it. Just based on pre-snap alignment with this outside linebacker outside the box, I would say don't make a pre-snap choice to target the backside curl because there's a chance he could run underneath it. Regardless, our quarterback looks to the curl first, then comes back to the front side. When he comes back to the front side, he sees the outside linebacker has widened with our route to the flat, so our choice route now is open in the curl. Think of this as a high-low play. You're high-lowing the curl defender. The curl defender can either drop to the curl, cover the choice route, or he can stretch to the flat and cover the flat route. Really good job by our choice route of working to get open. He's got a safety sitting on top of him. It's not cover 2, so he's not going to run to the post. This backside safety is working to the middle of the field, and his eyes are probably seeing both of these. His eyes should be seeing both of these safeties. So now he's going to treat this more like a cover 4, like a loose man, and he's going to curl up in the open area, and then work out to the open space. A really good job. Now, does he need to give ground like that? No. We kind of gave up the first down. Where he catches it, if he just flips upfield, he's going to get the first down. So we turn the wrong way and give up the first down. But it's a really good route. And again, we're 1st and 10. So forward progress to gain 8 is a good spot to be in. From a protection standpoint, we only need 1 running back. We're running a 6-man protection. So we're going to release number 6 to the flat. Number 22 is going to work across and protect. In this case, he's going to help our tackle, which we're fine with. We already have 1 running back in the route, so he can stay in. In fact, when we line up in split backs, we're almost always going to keep that second back in to clean up and protect things. Trips again, lining up in it. Remember, this is a 3-receiver play. So you either need to be in trips, line up our motion to it, or use your running back to get you to trips. Our first look is to the flat route. We have another example where this linebacker tries to reroute our choice, trying to disrupt the choice route. You could say our choice route still gets open, but our first choice is to throw to the flat. And on 1st and 10, to gain 16 is really good. So as you can see, I'm selling this play as an efficiency play because it really is. Go should be a high efficiency play, especially when you read it as your flat route being the number 1 choice. As I keep saying, you can certainly read the choice as the number 1 and the flat route as the number 2. Here's our power protection. So we're pulling our guard to the front side. All the details of the power protection were in the first course about run and shoot. Nicely done. Good play.
Coaches, Rick Stewart with allaccesscoaching.com. I really hope this video helps make you a better coach. Make sure you hit the subscribe and like button down below so we can let you know when new content becomes available, because we're all about coaches helping coaches. And remember, coach, better today, never as good as tomorrow.